Morning, guys. Just prepping to fly back to Spain today, but I thought I'd do a little video update on my sort of mixed channel because all sorts on there. Somebody brought up about working in the call centres that aren't worth the time because they only pay $2 or $3 an hour, blah blah. To be honest, um, I don't know anybody Western wise that actually worked on call centres at $2 or $3 an hour. Because you normally go in as a BDM, business development manager, because the main thing they want is your accent and your localized knowledge to actually bring in clients direct. Because in the business, what you find is it's multi-tier. So the guys that are getting the low pay, guess what? They're not getting the right rates because let's just say it's $20 a lead. Ones at the top are getting $150 a lead. So they get 150. Other call centers say, hey, have you got any work or BDMs? And they go, yeah. So they then take it, oh, I'll take $50 myself. And then these guys have another tier where these guys go, oh, have you got any work? And they go, yeah. And they all take a cut all the way down. And that's why you end up at these low rates at the bottom. Now, I recognised that in the first, I think it was the first week or within the first 2 weeks, there was a serious issue because we're getting work for a friend of ours, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So they were getting about $20 a lead. And if you go with the credit card companies in the US, you'll get about 150. You can negotiate a percentage on the commission. You know, not the sales commission, the commission on the processing of the credit cards. There's a whole ream of stuff you can do if you know what you're doing. So don't assume it's $2-3 an hour. That's if you're working in the call center on the desk and got no other capabilities to actually generate any more cash. Now, the other side of that being is it's enough to stay in the Philippines for a lot of people. I'm not saying everybody, so it's all about standard of living, quality of life, all that sort of stuff. But on top of that, if you haven't come from that environment, it gets you a foot in the door. And this is why I brought it up today. Because I've done this throughout my life with different things. It's how you progress. So if you know that's an easy thing you can move into and get your foot in the door, then take it. And okay, the pay's crap, but you may be thinking, you know what? In 6 months, 3 months, 4 months, I'll open another call center. I'll understand how to sell. I can, don't just take it as a job. Take it as a learning curve. Take it as learning how to do direct selling, how to understand how to scrape data, how to get to decision makers in the business. That's what you're looking for. If you just want to be a chicken in a pen, just plucking away, then that's all you'll be. You've got to think out the box. You've got to make the opportunities for yourself. The stuff I do relating to asset management, it started with surveying. And the surveying bit was rather random. It was that somebody I knew my engineering background and is one of the first ones before this whole life cycle modeling and stuff come out that I was already doing it. But basically what happened, there was a engagement to do some surveying on some prisons to help reduce the suicide rates. So I went in there, and as I'm doing it, I'm like, well, this is okay for 6 weeks, but the work's going to run out. So then I got involved with what the next guy does, which is the data processing. So I'm like, you know what, I'll do those at the weekend, save you having to do it, because I can see you're busy, you've got multiple contracts. So I started taking the spreadsheets off him and rejigging the text so it's all uniform, easy to understand, and easy to manipulate. Because when you get like 26 versions of the same thing, it's very hard to move it to the next stage, which is the modeling. So it's all a lot of data correction, all this sort of stuff. And then I started learning how to do the programming, started doing the macros, how this relates to the CAFM system, computer aided facilities management, how to cost it, and it just progressed and progressed and progressed. But it all started with the initial contract that came from somebody just knowing me in a network, because they needed somebody that was reliable, they needed somebody that could go there, get it done, and not make a hash of it. Because one of the big problems you get in surveying is people make a real mess of it all the time. I'm well known in the industry. I do get a lot of referrals where people go, if you've got a problem, get Matt, will sort it out. That's been a common trend for the last 12 years. So just bear that in mind. You've got to take the opportunities there, but work them. Don't just go, well, I'm here to dial on the phone. I'll just sit here and dial on the phone because that's all I can do. If you haven't done sales experience, you've got people all around you that are probably better salespeople. Listen to what they're doing. Start learning from them. Try and understand how they deal with rebuttals, how they sell, how do they use the tone in their voice, their accents, all that sort of stuff, if you want to be on the sales side. Now, one of the things I haven't really talked about before, but I thought I'd bring up today because it's actually in the comment I was making to this person, is when my call center started, nearly all the staff in there couldn't get a job in another call center because they needed a diploma from school to basically be allowed to work in a call center. I scrapped all that. Basically, if you can sell, you can work there. So a lot of people come in there, no experience, first main job, and they learned from the people around them. Didn't really put any pressure on people. It was a case of, as long as I got my sales target for the week, didn't matter who was doing it. It's, they get a basic pay plus commission. So the ones that are selling well earned out of it anyway. The ones that weren't doing too good, they still go home with a basic pay, a worst case scenario. But the point is, it evolved because those people became good salespeople. Those people could go into any call center because people knew our call center. And it's like, oh, I work there. And they're like, oh, we know them. Because we were, I can't say a lot of the stuff we were doing, but we were helping a lot of call centers. There was over 40 in our network. So the point being is, you go, I work here. They go, oh, yeah, you can come and work here. Because they have a lot of sales. They're doing well, Because it was run in a very different way. It's just the way just different business model. But the point being is, a lot of those people, this is the key element to this, are on things like people per hour and other, outsourcing websites where you hire individuals or teams. And they're not earning $2-3 an hour. I think the lowest you'll get one is probably $8 an hour. But some of the other guys are on way more than that. I mean, there is people I know from other call centers and businesses. I'm not going to mention names because I'll probably get hounded by families, but some of them are doing $4,000 an hour. An hour would be nice. No, a month. On selling software from Israel, the Silicon Valley there. I can't remember the name of the place. But the point is, they're selling software, they're selling security products, they're selling whatever people need. One of the guys I know sells straws. Bizarrely, but they do. Because, everything's going recyclable and all this. So there's two options there. The metal ones, or bamboo, or you have recyclable plastics. But they're trying to move away from the plastic. So there's a whole ream of stuff going on in old markets that need new salespeople. Because it's, for example, are we using sort of biodegradable plastics? Or this sort of stuff that's old things that are there. And a lot of these companies already exist, but they need to change their products. So they're recruiting people to sell stuff that is the next version of what they're already doing. But they're canvassing for new customers because they have a new environmentally friendly product. But a lot of the time it's testing. But then when they find it works, they keep it going. One of the guys I know has been doing the same product for 2 years now. So don't assume just because you get a small opportunity, that's all you've got. A lot of time it's you need to make the opportunity. Where I am now, I'm flying back to Spain tomorrow. My contract, if it all goes well, stays with this company. It's already there till 2034. That's in a better position than most people. I'm not saying I'll still be there in 2034, don't get me wrong. But the point is, the work is pretty much guaranteed. It's a ring-fence contract. It's already funded. So the point is, very low risk from my side. I've just got to maintain the buildings I look after, keep them in budget, keep the profit margins rolling on the interest they generate on the loans, because that generates your future years. And as long as that's occurring, it's there till 2034. Now, those opportunities don't just drop on your lap. For a start, hardly anybody does what I do, which is why I get a lot of referrals. You've got to find the opportunities. You've got to make the opportunities. You've got to see something that others aren't seeing. It's a bit like the house properties at the minute. I'm expecting there to be a little bit of a dive on the pricing. I know we've been talking about the property I'm buying in Spain. The mortgage come back 10% lower than, I think I did this in the last video, it's 10% lower than I was expecting, but at the same time, they basically told me to resubmit this month, because I've now been with the company a year, so it makes all the difference. Then you're sort of like, okay, fine. But to be honest, now I'll wait till January, February, because you'll get that winter drop in prices. They normally drop by about 4% in Spain on the coast. But we've got Brexit also in December, so it could drop 20%, who knows. But all I'm doing is banking money. So that 10%, I've already recovered, to be fair. I've already got more than that in the bank. But I'm just going to keep stacking the cash, because come January, February, see where the market is, and then buy the first property. And I'm going to buy several in the same area up to retirement. When I say retirement, it's more a case of unlocking the ability to travel, because if I've got a few properties there, I'd rather have long-term tenants in rather than short-term, because we do deal with other people's tourism expectations, and it can be a little bit frustrating and painful sometimes, because they'll turn up. They know, like you've got your checkout at 12 o'clock, check-in by 3 o'clock, or whatever, and then they're turning up at midnight. This sort of stuff, which is all right when you're next door, but when it's in the next town or something, it's a pain in the backside. And normally that sets some of the balls rolling, that they'll be complaining about other stuff the whole time. Because one of the things I notice with certain nationalities is within the first 24 hours, they will complain, because they know in the first 24 hours they can get a partial refund or a full refund, and they just hammer it. They look for anything, and it's. I've spoken to other people that manage property, and they've had the same issue. They're just like, what's wrong with people? They had all the information, but it's to get that. Give us some money back, please. Not that you've done anything. It's just, for them, it's like bartering. Even though they've already agreed to a product, they now want to try and get money off it. But anyway, that's business. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of say, use your network a lot and look for the opportunities. If you see a small thing, don't accept that that's all that's available, because there's often bigger opportunities in there. You can find things that people aren't doing. There's several things in the business I'm at the moment. I want to get enough time to actually develop a couple of apps for it. If anybody's got some recommended courses on Android forms and Android apps, because they're simple forms, but I need them done in a specific way. So I haven't really touched that. So any recommendations of that would appreciate. Because it'll save me browsing the internet for ages to try and find specific courses if you guys already know stuff that worked and was simple. Because basically what we'll have is, say for a room, maybe it's geolocation, 4 photos, and a description of what's wrong there, and who it was, and which building it was, etc. Simple forms, but I simply haven't touched it. But I know a lot of the people we have got access to Android phones, and that would be a useful tool for that. And if you want to develop it, maybe it's something we can talk about, because I can see a massive opportunity here. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to start packing my stuff and get ready for Spain.